Alright, today I'm going to show you how to make a hypertufa or concrete leaf, much like this one here. So, set that one down out of the way. What we'll need is some play sand to mold it. You'll need a plastic bag to cover it, a tub to mix your ingredients, rubber gloves, safety goggles. You should wear a dust mask also. I'm not going to, so you can hear me when I'm talking. Putty knife, something that you can smooth the mixture on. 1 part of Portland cement, and I use 1 part of sawdust, and I will use 1 part of perlite. You'll need some water. And I got mold release, vegetable oil, Pam, anything like that, motor oil, work just fine. Let's start. You'll also need your leaf. I got the sand wet so it would stick together. And this is just plain old play sand that I got from the hardware store. And what we'll do is cover it up and get all the air bubbles out of it. Now you want the back side up, because that's where all your deep ridges and all your patterns will come from, is the back side. The front side doesn't come out as well. Now you can use any kind of leaf. I like the larger ones. A lot of people like the larger ones. You can use a smaller one. And with these you can use them for bird feeders, water, just decoration, whatever you like to do. Put them out in your garden. This is just fun. There's a bucket up here. Now you definitely want to wear the safety goggles, those glasses. And the main reason is, if this Portland cement splashes in your eye, it will harden in your eye. And that wouldn't be very fun. First we mix our dry ingredients. We got 1 part of the cement. 1 part of sawdust. Now you can use peat moss if you'd like also. And then 1 part of perlite. We're just taking our hands and mix it up. Make sure you get the corners and the edges. Now we start by adding water, a little bit at a time. We'll just mix it in. And once you make sure it's all mixed in really well, we're going to let it set for a minute or 2, and then we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Now what we let it set for is we let the sawdust and the concrete absorb that water. We wanted to make sure that it was still moist enough, but not too moist. If you get too much water in there, add a little bit more of the concrete, that'll dry it out just a little bit at a time, because it doesn't take very much of that concrete to dry it out. If it's not wet enough, and I'll show you here in a second, then you just add a little more water. Now what we need to do is we need to take our mold release, and I use a brush. Now if you're using a spray vegetable oil, just spray it on. But you don't want to spray it on the, get it on the leaf here and coat it really well. Otherwise the leaf will stick to the concrete. And even if that does, it's really no big deal. You can take a little wire brush and it'll come off. Okay, now I'm pretty happy with the way it's laying out. I'm going to weight down the concrete and kind of straighten this out a little bit. Now, here's how you want your mixture to be. What I do is I take a little bit, I put it between my hands. If I can get it to stand up like that, that's the way I want it, right like that. Now I start down there. We'll just kind of weight it down. Now what we do is we go right up to the edge of the plant and try not to go too far over it, because then you're going to have to trim it off. You can do that with a on angle grinder. If you get it when it still hasn't set up all the way, you can do it with a pair of nippers that you use on horses. Sometimes you can just break it off with your hand. Or you can take a rasp and file it down a little bit. So you can kind of pretty it up a little bit once you get it out. But the less overflow you have, the better you're going to be. Now, notice I'm tapping it. That's getting all the veins. That's getting the air bubbles out of the concrete. And I'm doing the same thing over here on the back, on the other side here that you can't see. So I'm just pushing it down, getting right to that edge. Make sure you tap it in, because that works the concrete together also. Now I'm just making sure that the stem is clear and no concrete hasn't touched down underneath there, so that when I go to take it out, it won't be all stuck in there. We're going to have a little bit of problem getting the stem out anyhow because of the shape, the way it's, the rounding of it. It's smaller down here than it is right there in the center. But we'll work with that. That's all right. There, now what I like to do is I like to take a plate knife and just kind of smooth it out. Now if you have an idea of where you want it in your garden, now's, if you want a flat spot on it so that it'll lay flat, now's the time to put that in. Me, I'll just dig a little hole in the ground and have it set right like that. I hope this helped you out a little bit. Keep watching because we'll come back and we'll demold that in a few days. And then I'll record it and put that on the blog as well. So there you have it. Have fun.